Hello my darlings, I hope you're all doing very well. In today's video I am doing a Tattoo Enthusiast reacts to Am I the A-hole? I love doing this video series so much because I love looking at people's problems. I just like being nosy about people's tattoo situations and I love weighing in on my opinion. I also love reading the comments on these videos because I like to see what your opinion is and what you would do in this type of situation of the situations that I read about. Okay, before I ramble on anymore, let's get on to it. The first one that has caught my eye is this one. It's quite a new one and it's already had a lot of like upvotes or whatever, and this post has been rated arsehole. The title of this one is Am I the arsehole for getting a matching tattoo to my son? Of course, it always depends on context. Did you have permission to do this? Was it an agreed upon thing? Did you go together? Like, you know, like it depends, right? Anyway, let's read it. I am not a fan of tattoos. Oh, great. Straight from the beginning, I'm not a fan of tattoos, so why would you do this? Anyway, only because they are so, that's a big word for Lauren. Only because they are so ambiguous? Is that how you say it? Only because they're so ambiguous now. When I was a kid, tattoos were rare and rebellious. Okay, so I've got a feeling this person is a little bit on the, not, I don't want to age shame, but like on the older side. I'm thinking like late 50s, 60s, maybe. Older than that even. Just because that's the kind of opinion my mum had. Nowadays they are everywhere and that's fine. People can decorate themselves however they want. Okay, I'm glad that they have that opinion. But for example, my grandfather had tattoos. His were from when he was in the military and were a memorial to his friends. My son, 19, has wanted a tattoo since he was little, so I told him that was okay, but to really consider whatever he got and it have to be at least a little meaningful and not just to do it to be cool. That's understandable. That's a good parenting tactic in my opinion. I told him if he got something and it had no special meaning, I would get the exact same one. I guess he thought it was an empty threat because he got a tribal armband tattoo. Oh, what? Really? Wait, what? In 2023 you're getting a tribal armband tattoo? I mean, I know tribal has kind of come back a little bit, but it's more of like a ironic kind of thing. It's kind of like a hey, I got a tribal tattoo. It's not people doing it seriously, so it could be that case, but to do it seriously and as a first tattoo, you normally see someone get tribal nowadays if they're like tattooed like I am. You know, they'll just get a little gap fill of tribal and just be like, hey, I got a tribal tattoo. But yeah, anyway, I asked him about it and he said it just looked cool. Okay, well, I have disposable income and a high pain tolerance. Now we have matching tattoos and he no longer wants to show it off. Oh my god. He says I'm an arsehole for getting a tattoo just to prove a point. I think it's silly to get a meaningless tattoo to look cool. No, this is so bad. This is so petty. Let your 19-year-old son do what they want, okay? If they want this little tribal tattoo and it's meaningless or whatever, why are you doing this? This is not how you parent. You just say, oh, okay, that's cool, or just leave it. Or just don't say anything at all. Don't take it one step extra. I mean, I know they said they would, but like, what? This is not, no. That I would definitely vote this person as an asshole. It's just so petty. Like, you're the adult here. I'd be absolutely fuming if my mum had done this to me. I really would. I'd just be like, what are you doing? Then I'll be like, oh, it's kind of cool that she's got a tattoo now. But still, they've also taken away something that could be so awesome for this person, you know? They've gone from really liking the tattoo and being like, oh, yay, I finally got my first tattoo. You know that, like, excitement when you get your first tattoo? And then for a parent to come along and just be like, oh, look, I have a tattoo too. Kind of mocking them. It just does not sit right with me at all. Okay, the next one I'm going to read here is, am I the asshole for cancelling my girlfriend's tattoo appointment? Yes! Oh my god. Unless she asked you to do that, because obviously sometimes people get a little bit anxious when it comes to communication and phoning people and all of it. Like, then no, okay? Because you obviously were asked to do that, so that doesn't make you the arsehole. And then obviously that's not the case here because, let's face it, you wouldn't be writing this post. Anyway, my girlfriend has OCD. One symptom she experiences is her doing everything in fives. Her mother passed away in March of 2018. My girlfriend goes to therapy, and in January of this year, when she brought up getting a tattoo for the 5th anniversary of her mother's death, I suggested she talked about it with her therapist. After doing so, she said that her therapist also didn't think it was a good idea, and she believed that the drive behind her wanting to get the tattoo was her OCD, rather than the actual want of getting it. However, my girlfriend still went ahead and booked the appointment. After talking with a couple of friends about it, they all agreed that it wasn't a good idea to make such a permanent decision, which has purely been fueled by her OCD. If she had somewhat recovered from her OCD, I wouldn't be so hesitant. However, she hasn't made any progress. I emailed the tattooist, we have each other's passwords, and cancelled her appointment. I told her an hour before her appointment that it had been cancelled, and as she had booked the last slot for the day, she was unable to get it done. I knew she was going to be upset, but I didn't realise how upset she was going to be. It's been a couple of weeks, and it's honestly crazy how she reacted to it. But I'm more than certain, and so are our friends, that in the future, once she recovers from her OCD, she will be really grateful. It's clear that it was OCD influenced, as it has flared up a bit because of it, and she's aware of that too, and has described it as making her physically sick when she thinks about the fact she'll never be able to get a tattoo on the 5th year anniversary. So am I the arsehole? I'm gonna go with yes, arsehole, because they've gone about it completely the wrong way. I would say it's nice that this partner has seen what's going on and recognised the fact that this girlfriend's behaviour is probably due to OCD, and they're trying to advise them in the best way they most possibly can and be like, this could be because of your OCD, not because you actually want the tattoo. But that's all you should do. That's all you should do. You should bring up your concerns in a caring, kind way, not be like, you only do this because you're OCD. Like, no, you address it correctly and kindly and say, hey, I've noticed this. Do you want to talk about it if you're comfortable? At the end of the day, this girlfriend is a grown adult, I'm guessing, to be, or at least old enough to get a tattoo. They're old enough to make their own decision. You should not be hacking in, even though they had the password, but still, you should not be going into someone else's email account and cancelling a tattoo appointment on someone else's behalf without their permission. That is wrong. That's where you fucked up so badly. It was good in the first half, somewhat, with being a little bit concerned about your partner. Like, that's okay. You're allowed to be concerned. You're allowed to address things. You're allowed to communicate these things. It's better to do that than not. Going behind someone's back and doing this is horrendous. That is just so wrong. At the end of the day, it's the girlfriend's decision, but you do not control the situation like that. You may think you're doing a good thing, but you're not. That's my opinion, okay? Like, if I was in this situation, because I have lost my mum, she passed away over 9 years ago now. If someone had done this to me in whatever context, right, I'd be absolutely freaking fuming. Like, no, it's not your decision to make, okay? Thank you very much. I get the concern, but you've gone about it the wrong way. Holy hell. Okay, the next one we're going to read here is, am I the arsehole for getting a tattoo? It says, I just turned 21. I didn't have anyone to celebrate with, given I've just moved away from home for a graduate position, so I thought I would do something for myself. Amazing. Love that. I got a tattoo. I have always wanted one, but I never found a good thing to get tattooed on me because I wanted my first one to have a proper meaning. I finally decided on a small piece on the outer side of my upper arm of a mountain. Cute. The reason I picked this was because I was part of the mountaineering society at my university, and hiking is something that really speaks to me. That sounds like a great first tattoo. I chose a tasteful tattoo of Ben Nevis, as it was the first Monroe I ever done, whilst also having trained months to get fitter to hike it. It represents a time period of my life I'm incredibly proud of myself for. I will also say that I'm not well off. Throughout university, I picked up multiple jobs just to get me through the semester to graduate with minimal debt. I rarely spent money on myself and lived very minimally, often having to say no to plans with friends because I could not afford them. I was quoted £160 for my tattoo, and it ended up costing £200 because of the time. I personally think the tattoo artist should have quoted me an exaggeration because I was under the impression I could afford £160. Because of the extra £40, I had to ask my parents for money for groceries until I got my next paycheck, as moving costs and rent deposit ate away at my budget. They blew up at me and told me I shouldn't have gotten one if I couldn't afford it. They don't approve of tattoos in general. My opinion is that I did not know how much the tattoo would cost and thought it was within my means. Am I the arsehole? Oh, this is tricky because they have been voted arsehole, but I kind of feel like they're somewhat not at fault here. I myself always, just in case, budget a little bit extra for a tattoo, just in case it is a little bit extra. But when you're quoted a price for a tattoo, it should normally be that, you know, unless the artist is open and transparent. The artist should always be transparent and say, okay, this tattoo is going to take a little bit longer, so therefore it's going to be a little bit extra. We can stop and then continue when you can pay for the rest, or, you know, we can continue and you can pay for it now or whatever. So that's a little bit fishy to me personally. You know, I'm not saying this artist is a scam artist, you know, this isn't tattoo gate or anything like that, but I feel like it would have helped this person a lot to be a lot more open and honest with the pricing. You know, it doesn't cost anything to be like that, especially in this economy, right? Like that £40, you know, was very much needed for this person. That being said, with the whole, like, maybe you shouldn't have got this if you're struggling financially. But then, like, this person said they don't really spend much money on themselves. Like, I'm in such a catch-22 situation, because if this was, like, my friend or Tom or whatever, or my sister, I don't know, I wouldn't be, like, blaming them so much. I'd be like, oh, okay, whatever, you know, it's one of those things. It's happened. Like, okay, yeah, you're an adult, but you're 21. Who has their life all figured out at 21? I certainly didn't, let me tell you. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't say that this person's an arsehole. Maybe irresponsible. I just feel like, yeah, they fucked up a little bit, you know? And they probably won't do it again. You learn from your lessons, right? Like, let's not be so harsh on this 21-year-old. They've already accomplished so much, you know? Like, they're living by themselves. They've got a graduate job, you know, like, cut them some slack. Okay, I'm gonna read one more for this video. This one has me very intrigued. It says, am I the arsehole for shitting on my sister's tattoo? I fully hope that it's not like literally. I don't think it will be. Anyway, my 19 male, sister 22 female, so that I believe means that the person writing this is 19 male and then the sister is 22 female, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Recently got a tattoo commemorating our dad. He's not dead or sick or anything, okay, and is relatively young, 50 at that. It's more just because he raised both of us alone and she really appreciates that. I get that, I do too. At the same time, he hates tattoos, thinks they look terrible, so the idea of getting a tattoo, and your first one at that, to commemorate a guy that hates tattoos, is funny to me. It's like throwing a party to show appreciation for a vegan activist and serving meat, or taking a private jet to give a speech about environmentalism. So when I first heard about this from her, I chuckled a bit. She asked me why I was chuckling, and I just explained to her, it's sweet, but it's also ironic. You're getting a tattoo for a guy that doesn't like tattoos at all. She called me the arsehole for being unsupportive and shitting on it. But I'm not saying it's bad, it's just ironic. I did say I think it's sweet. Am I the arsehole? It's been voted not the arsehole. I'm gonna say, I guess, like, voting something the arsehole is like the most extreme. Yes, you're such an arsehole, you're a horrible person. I wouldn't say this person is like a full-on arsehole. Maybe just like a bit of a jerk, if that's like one under. I myself have a tattoo for my nan who passed away when I was 19 in 2009. She did not like tattoos at all. She did not like tattoos. I mean, the majority of my family aren't like tattoo crazy or whatever, but I got Snow White because she loves Snow White. Let me see if I can show you. It's on 2 secs. But yeah, I have this like traditional looking Snow White here for my nan who just, yeah, loved Snow White, but she didn't like tattoos. But still, like, you can do what you want with your body kind of thing. I'm sure if she was alive, she'd probably be like, oh, right, okay. Like, she'd probably appreciate the sentiment of it. But I'm sure if she was to see how tattooed I am now, she would have some very strong words. I don't know, actually. She'd probably be like, ugh. She was Scottish. That was a terrible Scottish noise. But she'd be like, okay. Either that or something. I don't know. I'm terrible. I should not do freaking Scottish impressions. It's insulting to my ancestry-ness. But still, she would just come out with some stuff like that. But yeah, back to this post. I understand what they're saying. They're probably saying it to be like, is this really a good idea? But at the end of the day, this sister can do what they want, and if they want to get the tattoo and it angers the dad, that's on them, I guess. Or the complete opposite might actually happen, and then the dad actually finds it as a nice gesture and learns to love it, or learns to love at least one tattoo in the world. Okay, so that is it for today's video. Like I said at the beginning, please comment down below your thoughts and opinions on all the posts that I have read out today. I highly appreciate you all so much. Thank you for being here, and until my next video, bye. Hello my darlings, I just wanted to do a little PSA here just to address my previous upload, because I filmed the video you just watched before my previous video, if that makes any sense. So anyway, I just wanted to jump on here and say thank you so much for all the support on that video, because it was so heavy and so dark, and it probably took a lot for the people that watched it to actually get through it, because I discussed some very dark things and triggering things. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to use my platform to make awareness for stuff like this. You know, it's super important for me to address the issues within the tattoo world. You know, it's not all rosy coloured, unfortunately, and some of the comments I received on that video makes me even more aware that this is a huge problem, sadly. I mean, obviously there is some fantastic tattoo artists out there without a doubt, oh my gosh, but wow. It's a lot more prevalent than we'd like it to be. I also want to say I have spoken to Tyler, who is the guy on the left there. He's the one that made a reel about this predatory tattoo artist, and he documented his experiences with Archie, who is the predatory tattoo artist, and he told me more of his side of things, and I just feel incredibly guilty because I was incredibly harsh on him. And when he told me just how, I guess, dangerous this Archie person is, I was like, you know what? I don't actually blame you for not saying anything sooner, because I'm not going to share what he said to me because we had a private conversation, etc. But just trust me on this. Archie is dangerous. He is an awful human being, and to come up against him. Anyway, I spoke to Tyler. I apologise for being so harsh on him. I did have this immense guilty feeling towards the fact that I was pretty harsh on him at times, and that's not like me. Normally when I say things, I stand by the things I say, but I just felt a bit awful for being so, I don't know, harsh. I am very much a black or white kind of person. It's very rare for me to see the grey in things, if that makes sense. You know, sometimes it's not as easy as black or white. It's, you know, there's a muddy area there. So anyway, I also want to say thank you so much for buying the merch. I think we've raised over $300 so far, which is freaking amazing. So as soon as that comes through, because I use Teespring, it takes a little while for money to come through, if that makes sense. That will be donated straight away to RAIN and the Survivors Trust, which are two charities that help survivors of sexual assault. I also had a comment asking how long this merch will be available for. I'm just going to keep it up for as long as people are buying it, if that makes sense. So it will pretty much be a permanent fixture, and throughout the whole of the time it is available, all the profit from these 3 items will be donated. I will not be keeping any of it because this cause is super important to me, and I hope I will be able to keep doing stuff like this in the future. And again, thank you for letting me do stuff like this and supporting it. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now, and yeah, have a great day.